Hello everyone, welcome to Manawa. Just getting things ready. Yeah, so I'll just show you bird's eye view of my notepad, and this is a good moment to pause and gather your art materials, or if you want to play an instrument, grab your instruments. Yeah, any ways that you want to be creative in this moment. Maybe grab a pen and paper if you want to write a poetry or journal. This is a 20-minute practice that will be exploring our inner world, what's going on in our subconscious, just letting things flow. This is a moment to use art as a spiritual practice. I find that art is an amazing way to tap into the subconscious. Today I'll be collaging and seeing what comes up. This particular image speaks to me a lot. It looks a bit gruesome, but I like it. Yeah, taking a moment to really see what speaks to you. Maybe there are some pictures you want to cut out and stick on, or you want to, maybe you have a art material that you've been wanting to explore. So yeah, grab your materials and just start to get in the flow. Just observing your mind chatter. Are they telling you to stop, that this is not worth it, or this is just a waste of time? This negative self-critique is telling you that you're making ugly art. Just stop, this is just not something that we do. Really observing all those chatters in your mind and just letting it just flow. Letting it flow. Letting the chatter flow. So I always found, since a very young age, the act of creating to be very soothing and grounding. My mom used to say that when I had sets of crayons and a piece of paper, I was quiet. This is like the only moment that I was quiet, because I was a very boisterous and quite a demanding child. So I definitely felt that just getting in touch with that flow state to be very soothing. Yeah, it was just involving a lot of my senses and just getting in that flow. Since a young age, I have been taught to draw and paint, to understand the technical side of visual arts. Yeah, and my art teacher used to say, trust your eyes, trust them, because they're good. And I thought, oh, that's interesting. So you can also trust your eyes, because they are good. We have all eyes and ears and senses that are very uniquely tuned to ourselves, and it's really there for us to explore the world and tune inwards to find out what feels right for us. Once our inner critique and all these negative chatter quietens down, it's a really beautiful practice to tap into the spirit that's inside of you. That deep state usually taps into how my spirit wants to be expressed. That's how I experience art. So being trained to draw and paint in a certain way was all very helpful, of course. And when I studied expressive arts facilitation back in 2018 in Berlin. It just completely opened a new dimension to art. It was a completely different approach to what I understood as art. I always thought that art is something like a practice where you need to make something beautiful that is pleasing for the eyes. It needed to have certain compositions and colors and textures, and sometimes it just needed to look realistic, and this is just how I have been trained. And when I studied this expressive arts, I realized that art is actually there as a very important tool for humans to explore what's going on inside of us, how we integrate the information, sometimes that is very overwhelming. These emotions that are sometimes very hard to hold, very hard to be with. We often want to run away when we are feeling these emotions that are heavy. And I found that with expressive art, so just focusing on the process of making art instead of the outcome, it just gave me permission to just express what feels right in that moment. The outcome of it does not matter. And what is a piece of paper and some crayons gonna do if I'm just using it as a tool for my well-being? This completely opened up a new kind of view for me. And I just thought that this is such a beneficial thing that I would love for other people to explore. Not just in therapy settings, but just as a daily practice that we can tap into, use it as a tool. As human beings, we have gone through so many ups and downs of struggles, despair, also beautiful emotions like joy and happiness. In these moments when it's so overwhelmingly intense, we want to express ourselves. This is why we often want to chat to our loved ones, or sing, maybe even dance when we are feeling joyful, when we are feeling these emotions. And art is such a beautiful way to support our human experience on this earth. So I just hope that you guys also find this practice to be useful and helpful. A moment to tap inwards, just letting our subconscious flow and be seen and heard and touched. Really not judging ourselves in this process. Maybe in your mind you wanted to write a certain way, you want to play an instrument a certain way already, but this is really a moment to focus on the expression, the process. I'll be posting a video like this each week to really encourage all of you that are really called to use art as a spiritual practice, art as a well-being practice. Instead of being on your phone or watching something, really taking this moment to engage, really be an active participant by creating, because we are all capable of creating, just being in the moment. This is a really beautiful practice to be in the moment. Just go all out. Doesn't matter how it looks like. If you feel like scribbling, drawing, just even if you want to rip the page, go for it. Feel what feels right for you in this moment and act on those feelings. It's currently raining here in Auckland, in Aotearoa, New Zealand. Just love the sound of the rain while painting or drawing. So as mentioned before, art can be a very effective way to process emotions and really bring emotional balance. So in moments when we feel like, and you just feel so angry at someone or at something not working out the way you wanted, rather than really judging that emotion and feeling bad about it, rather we just explore it with curiosity. We explore, okay, today I'm feeling this way, and I will spend 20 minutes to just explore it with different art mediums. And just using, yeah, whatever ways it feels right for you, and maybe stab the paper, or just scribble, or scrunch the paper, or throw it away, or rip it. There are different ways to really channel that emotion without judgment, without feeling bad about it, because we have been told to behave certain way, to really be afraid of certain emotions. Depends on which society you grew up in, which religion, which cultural norm, which gender you are. All these things can play the part. And yeah, so really exploring that with curiosity. And it's not just that is one thing to do, is to really express. And when you create something tangible from the inner emotions, it really allows for the emotions to be released. So it's really making that feeling tangible. And when you see it in front of you, when you are holding it, or visually you can see it, there's some sort of a magical thing that happens. It just helps you to release, to be able to externalize your feelings, your emotions. You can gain new perspectives on that emotion. Maybe there are some different layers to it. You get to understand it a bit differently. You get to have different perspective. It becomes an object, and it really decreases their power over the mind, over your well-being. You get to, instead of suppressing it and not looking at it and just being afraid of it, that gives power to these feelings or emotions. So really looking at it, being curious about it, inquiring, can decrease their power. So thank you so much for tuning in today, and I hope that this session was helpful. I applaud you for persevering, sticking through, and really using art as a tool to go inwards and explore ourselves deeper. Thank you so much for being here, and see you again next week.